Holly's abusive marriage to illustrate all three topics: free will, intuition, and the law of attraction, and how they work in our lives. And yep, I have Holly's permission to use this story, so feel free to ask her questions below in the comments, and she'll answer them for you. Hey everybody, it's Stacy from the Key to Soul Awakening. Before I move on and explain the answer to the question, if you're new to this community, click the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell so you're alerted every time I post a new informative video on the topic of life and spiritual awakening and everything in between. So let's break down this answer into 4 parts. What is free will? What is intuition? How does the law of attraction work in soul contracts? And finally, how do we know if we have completed a soul contract? What exactly is free will? Free will is the ability to choose our actions rather than being forced one way or the other. Earth is one of the few incarnations where free will exists. When choosing to incarnate on Earth, we agree to exchange the luxury of having free will in our life in exchange for the veil of forgetfulness when we're born. The veil of forgetfulness clouds all memory of any soul contracts or agreements we made before this lifetime. It also clouds any memory of past lives or past incarnations on any other planets or universes. We basically come in with a clean slate. But really that clean slate has a whole lot in there, we just don't remember it. So the alternative to having free will is knowing exactly what we planned, but having no choice in the life that we live. That sounds positively dreadful to me. So for the purposes of this question, consider your life right now and understand that you are where you are right now due to every single choice you have made in your life. I've had many people ask me the question or tell me the statement, I don't have a choice in life. This is just what I have. These are my circumstances. How is that my choice? Somebody who's held captive in a prison always has the choice to try to break out of that prison. The consequences of that action are something different than choice, and it is something we need to consider when we're talking about free will. Consequences don't always have to be bad. The consequence of breaking out of a prison could be that a person finds freedom and lives a long, happy life. Maybe there's a lesson that we've contracted to learn in our soul contracts by trying to break free of the prison. But as humans, we always think in terms of fear on Earth. The choice we fear the most, breaking out of the prison and being killed, to use this example, usually stops a person from even trying. Would you rather live a long, miserable life in prison or try for freedom and happiness? Fear is the common thread throughout all of these topics. In free will, many of us allow fear to stop us from the choice we would rather make. We must not live in fear. We must not let fear stop us. When I started to explore this concept a few years ago when I was in a very deep depression, I thought about my friend Holly. The reason that Holly was my go-to person for this concept is because I really did not like the idea that I created my life circumstances. But Holly's story is so amazing that I could not ignore it. Holly lived in a real-life prison with her abusive husband. She ignored her intuition, she ignored her family and all of her friends that told her that this man was not good for her. She even ignored a near-fatal car accident that was meant to wake her up and leave her then fiance. She went into that marriage full of love and hope and good intentions. What she was met with were difficult situations, control, and abuse. They had an adorable daughter together, and Holly thought everything was going to get better. But you know what? It didn't. And then she sunk into a deep depression because she thought she was trapped in a prison. Then one day, Holly found a card in her purse that her sister had given her months before to a women's shelter. And she decided to follow that gut feeling that said maybe I should call somebody, after she had told herself for years and years that she was not in an abusive marriage. Sadly, Holly had been blaming herself for all the marital troubles, and her husband was right behind her, blaming her too. When she went to the women's shelter and met with a therapist, Holly was shocked when the therapist held her hand and told her she was indeed in an abusive marriage. Holly didn't want to believe it then either. It took her months to realize how trapped she really was. The scariest thing Holly could ever think of was trying to leave her husband. She knew, and so did her therapist at the women's shelter, that when she tried to leave her husband, that would be the most dangerous time in Holly's life. So they planned Holly's escape. Holly waited until he was out of town. and then she left with their daughter and only half of their things. Holly is an excellent example of leading with love and not fear or anger. 15 years later, Holly is happier than she would ever have imagined back then. Had she stayed and survived, Holly wouldn't be Holly anymore. She'd be a miserable version of Holly, way off of her life path. Yes, other people have done horrible things to us, but it's up to us to choose our path to get ourselves out of those situations from happening again. Through the full use of free will, we are never forced into any choices we have in this life. Holly could have chosen to stay, but in facing her fears, she freed herself. This brings me to section 2. What is intuition? In Holly's story, intuition played a huge role. Holly knew on an intuitive level she was in an abusive marriage, but she kept pushing it away. But let's start with, what is intuition really? Intuition is really our spirit guides talking to us and trying to keep us on our life path. Our spirit guides are very interested in us staying on our life paths because they also are learning from our life experiences. They have the same lessons to learn, but they're doing it through us rather than coming into incarnation themselves. They kind of ride next to us like in a sidecar and give us directions on how to go without going into a whole tangent on why they can't speak directly to us. In a nutshell, spirit guides give us messages in a variety of different ways. The higher our vibration is, the easier it is to communicate back and forth with our spirit guides, which is why I'm always saying raise your vibration. Raising our vibration is fairly simple. We just have to stay positive, lead with love, and allow no negativity, anxiety, or fear to drain us. When our vibration is so low that our spirit guides cannot reach us, that's when they reach out to our network of family and friends. Sometimes they even utilize animals in our lives or animals in nature to reach us. Alternatively, spirit guides can also pull other people into our life paths who we don't know. They can also manipulate situations so we can get a clear message of what they're trying to say to us. Knowing full well that we can use our free will and not listen to them, they still try tirelessly to get us to understand. This is all under the umbrella of intuition. Terms such as that gut feeling, or listen to your heart, or I just somehow knew that that was going to happen. Those are all intuitive statements. When it became clear that Holly was going to marry her ex-husband, all of her family and friends were very concerned. Her mother was probably the most concerned, but she was afraid Holly would push her away, just like Holly had pushed away all her other friends who said something to object. So, Holly's mother took to praying herself, talking to her guides. She just asked the universe, please help Holly, and help Holly understand what's actually happening. A few weeks later, Holly was driving home from work one day when it was raining, and she went to switch lanes and accidentally clipped the car behind her. Holly's car spun out, ended up hitting the median, and then slammed on the side of the road. Holly definitely could have been killed in that car accident. As she crawled out of the car and saw the circle of strangers who had parked and ran over to her to see if she was okay, all she could think was that her fiancé was going to be very upset that she crashed the car. As she explained this to the bystanders, two women pulled her aside and talked to Holly and said, if you were this concerned about your fiancé and his reaction, maybe you shouldn't be with him. And these are the exact people the spirit guides wanted Holly to talk to, because if she wasn't listening to family or friends, maybe she'd listen to strangers tell her that something was wrong with this relationship. And the reason I think this story is such a great example of how we have free will, but we also write a life plan and have guides to help us, is because Holly ignored so many signs and went into a marriage that was not good from the start. But it was her choice, and nobody can actually stop anybody from making bad choices. Not even the other side, angels, guides, or God. When people blame God, why did you let this happen? God didn't let anything happen. We choose what is going to happen in our life through free will. We also choose if we're going to listen to our intuition or listen to our human ego. We decide which one gets the driver's seat. Here is a quick example of how you can tell the difference between your ego or your intuition. You ask a question of something that's troubling you in your life. The first answer that you receive is the ego. It's quick, it's fast, and it's loud. It's usually the answer that makes you feel good in the short term, but usually has very bad long-term consequences. Your intuition is steadfast and it's quiet. It doesn't go anywhere, where your ego is very impatient and makes you feel anxious if you don't choose the ego. When you listen to your intuition, you listen for that quiet choice. That may not be your first choice, but in the long term, it has a much better outcome. It also is usually the choice that is much more difficult to choose because it has fear, but long term, you know that it's better for you. So if we go back to Holly's story, her intuition had been telling her for years that her husband was abusive and she needed to leave. However, she knew how he behaved when he thought she was leaving. She couldn't imagine how he would behave if she left for real. Holly's reaction was based in fear. It is a reaction we all have when we have those important decisions to make in life. Our human reaction on the ego level is always based in fear as a survival instinct. If a person waits just a little longer to let the ego get their voice out and then listen to their intuition, they will hear the real answer of what they need to do in order to make their life better and move back onto their life path. Here is an important issue, though. Holly being in this relationship with her ex-husband was actually on her life path. It was not a mistake that she interacted with him and entered into a romantic relationship. I'd like all of the people out there who are in these types of relationships to hear me clearly. You did not make a mistake by entering into this relationship with this person. Your only mistake is not learning the lessons you are meant to learn from it. The lessons you are meant to learn from relationships like this, and that Holly learned, was that she was to value herself. She is important. She is allowed to speak her truth without any backlash. You are allowed to speak your truth without any backlash. And as Holly's friend, what I learned was that we can't force anybody to make the right decision. We can be here and love them and support them all the way through their lives, but that's all we can do is love and support them. We can give them options, like Holly's sister did, giving her the card of the women's shelter, but we cannot force them to make the choice that we know is best. We can wait for them and tell them we're going to be here no matter what happens. For those of you on the outside watching a loved one go through a relationship like this and not understand what they are thinking, let me explain this on the soul level. Holly and her ex-husband made a soul contract before they were born. They both had the goal of learning the lesson of self-love and love towards others through this challenging relationship. However, only one of them actually learned this lesson. Holly learned important lessons in that relationship. Her ex-husband chose not to learn his lessons in that relationship, ignoring his intuition, ignoring all of the signs his spirit guides were probably giving him. And that's the thing with these soul contracts, is that when we're in a tough relationship, that is where we learn the most. There does come a point in difficult relationships where we can choose to sever a soul contract if the other person is not fulfilling their end of the contract. I will get to that later in this video. But before thinking that we need to sever a soul contract, we need to be aware that the lesson always comes right when we think we have no other choice. Holly's lesson was right in that moment when she found the business card her sister gave her for the women's shelter. In that moment, she could have chose to turn away and not take the help, but she chose to take the help and value herself more than her marriage, which she was taught growing up was above everything to make successful. And this type of belief is a belief based on the ego level, where we're making ourselves happy through making everyone else looking at us happy. On the intuitive level, we all know that we need to take care of ourselves first and love ourselves, which is not to be selfish. It's to give ourselves love and then love others. In that moment where Holly found the card from her sister, she finally gave herself an ounce of self-love. Holly ignored her fear and reached out for help. And this is where we see intuition and free will play together in order to better our lives. When we listen to our intuition and then also use our free will in order to follow our intuition, that's the combination we need in order to walk our life path. Don't miss Part 2, where the law of attraction plays a part in soul contracts. Hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss it. Key to Soul Awakening. Today we're going to talk about what are karmic patterns. A karmic pattern was developed in your soul's path in a past life where you weren't able to solve a problem that caused you major emotional harm. So the pattern is in your life now in order to protect you from having any of that pain that you experienced before. In general, a karmic pattern is a series of events or circumstances that repeatedly play out in a person's life. They make life difficult, if not chaotic. Karmic patterns are in all of our lives, and they push all of us in one of three ways: into the victim box, out into the world with our false self as our mask, or enlightened through a soul or spiritual awakening. Before moving into the concept of a victim box, stick around for the end of the video when you'll learn about specific pattern types and where you fit in. Also subscribe and comment on the video. Tell me if the patterns resonate with you. We all planned our lives in detail before we were born. However, we can alter timelines or specific details on the plan if our soul feels it's necessary. A pattern exists over top of the life plan, sort of like a coat of paint over top of a house. As you are walking on your life path, you excitedly grow every day as you reach your goal points on the path. These can be small, daily goals that we don't even realize are important, such as smiling at a child at the deli counter. You made a soul contract with that child's soul to smile at them, possibly to remind them of that there's good in the world. Other goals can be large, like choosing to adopt a child. But you must remember your patterns are always there, in a function of false protection. Walking along with you on your life path, the pattern sees what it interprets as dangerous for you. But really, it may just be a curve in the road, or a branch that fell. The pattern wants to protect you, so it does what it can to get you off the road. It throws difficulties at you to keep you from getting hurt, from what hurt you in a former life. For example, if you lost the love of your life in a past life and never emotionally recovered from the loss, the pattern will attract only the wrong kind of people to you, so you never experience love and loss again. The pattern does not think about the effects of sending the wrong people into your life. It just clobbers you while you're walking along your life path. Once hit by the force of the pattern, some people run for cover. Imagine on your life path there's a box on the side of the road. You don't want to be hit again, so you run and climb inside for safety. The trouble is, the box is ruled by the universal law of attraction, where fear is a magnet. On the outside of the box it says victim box. Universal law says anyone sitting in the box must be harmed by anyone who comes upon it. Inside the box, you grow more rooted in not leaving because you feel a false sense of safety. The box does not move, therefore neither does the person inside. They are trapped by fear in one spot on their life path. The person needs to realize all they have to do to rid themselves of the situation and the pattern that started it is stand up and climb out, clearing the pattern. No longer thinking of themselves as a victim, the pattern clears and the person can keep moving on their life path. What are the major types of karmic patterns? That's next. But before we go on, grab something to write with and paper. You're going to start improving your life right now. The warrior pattern attracts conflict and unstable people into their lives. It's known to be strong, tough, or bullheaded. These are people that we often look at and ask, why are they so angry? The fence sitter, indecisive to a point that their opinion blends into whatever you want, afraid to take one side or the other out of fear of upsetting someone. Secretly, they are frustrated that they are overlooked. The perfectionist, or overachiever, lives life to be the best, at all things, at all costs, including self and others. The duo martyr-victim is a drive to help others to a fault. When the help turns into obsession, this pattern will say, "Poor me, people are so mean, I'm just trying to help." Boundaries are a problem. A person with the shame pattern has a constant inner knowing that they are the cause for all bad things in life. They may even be told by other people, as a way for the pattern to attract bad people and reinforce itself. Shame is generally unseen due to the person not wanting to confront their perceived faults, until it evolves into a mental illness, such as depression. Sometimes this leads to suicidal tendencies because the person does not value themselves and perceives others do not value them either. Abandonment. This person will feel alone at all times, even when surrounded by people. This is due to the pattern keeping emotional distance from others. When this person does get close to someone, the relationship's always difficult. Most of the time, the person is left alone in life again, after the relationship sours to the point of no return. Sense of duty. This person is a rule follower to the extreme. For example, workaholics that say they must take care of their family financially, but then has little time to actually spend with the family. They feel guilty or overly anxious anytime they bend or go over a line. Now it's your turn. To discover what your patterns are, take a moment to write down situations that had a huge effect on your life and that you still regret. Review this video and find where the common threads are. Most people have more than one pattern. Your soul is like a house with good bones. The pattern is like a bad paint job on the house. To clear it, you have to scrape one chip at a time. Clearing is simple. All you have to do is recognize when your pattern is showing up in your life. This will happen when you feel anxious or generally bad about something. When you recognize that you're facing a pattern, you just have to say out loud or in your head, "I see it, I feel it, I release it." The more you do this, the more paint chips that come off. The most important thing to remember is that all the bad stuff that's happened in your life wasn't you. It was your pattern attracting it to you. And now that you know it's the pattern, you can control your reaction. Now that you know this about your life, the choice is yours. Clear your patterns and walk on the life path that you planned, or stay in the life as it is now. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe and comment below on which pattern resonated with you or someone you know. Casey, and I built this community for you. Why did I pick a word key, C-A-Y, that means tropical island? The answer is simple. I went from living a life in suburbia, full of roadblocks, frustration, and negativity, to living my dream life here on a tropical island in under a year, all due to a spiritual awakening. I've been a single professional and a student. I've been a working mom and a stay-at-home mom. I know what life is like from many angles, and it's all difficult when we aren't living with a high vibration, positivity, and in our highest and best life.
Say, Mommy?
My goal is to reach as many people as possible and teach them how to live their life full of happiness with no negativity. I post personal, detailed accounts of my own journey, which is always evolving, as well as how I got here from a rough past. I post teaching videos that show you, the viewer, how you can do the exact same things I did to improve your life. Guided meditations and Sunday messages to remind you to stay positive are among the topics I cover in this community. Also, check the comments under the videos where I ask questions to the viewers so I can personally help you on your path to happiness. Welcome to the Key of Soul Awakening. Follow the Key to Soul Awakening on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you enjoy learning real-life strategies to using spirituality in day-to-day life, subscribe now. And as my son Buddy says, ding ding, don't forget to hit that bell. Also, please share this video on your own social media platforms. The wider my net is, the more people I can reach to help them find their way to happiness. Thank you for helping me. Hello, and welcome to Sunday live streams at the Key to Soul Awakening. I'm Stacy, a spiritual powerhouse for those looking to upgrade into the 5D. In my day job, I use my psychic skills and guides on the other side, along with the knowledge I have about clearing karmic patterns and living your highest and best life, to help those who are struggling to find a way back to their happiest life path. That's right, you heard me correctly. I am a psychic medium. I've been a working psychic medium for over 15 years, and like to give a shout out to my father-in-law, who opened the door for this path for me after his passing. Not only do my clients get my personal help, they also get help from the other side while working with me. I'm here every Sunday live streaming at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer any and all questions coming from YouTube viewers. They can be questions about your life path, celebrities, current events, pretty much anything underneath the spirituality umbrella. Here's how this works. When you want to ask a question, you put your date of birth and your specific question in the chat box. My husband, Bob, will get the questions in order and send them over to me. I don't see the chat box very much because I'm holding the connection with the other side, and the chat tends to distract me. So when I ask you a question to validate any information, you can go ahead and put it in the chat box, and Bob will send that over to me. After I've answered your question, if you would like to have more information or a session with me, you simply click the link at the top of the chat box that's pinned, with a special rate for those of you who join me on Sunday Live. Now we're about to get started. Have you hit that like button yet and subscribed to this page? And also ding that bell because I go live during the week too, and you want to be alerted when I do. Thank you. Here at the Key to Soul Awakening, I'm Stacy, and I built this community for you. Why did I pick a word key, C-A-Y, that means tropical island? The answer is simple. I went from living a life in suburbia, full of roadblocks, frustration, and negativity, to living my dream life here on a tropical island in under a year, all due to a spiritual awakening. I've been a single professional and a student. I've been a working mom and a stay-at-home mom. I know what life is like from many angles, and it's all difficult when we aren't living with a high vibration, positivity, and in our highest and best life.
Say, Mommy?
My goal is to reach as many people as possible and teach them how to live their life full of happiness with no negativity. I post personal detailed accounts of my own journey, which is always evolving, as well as how I got here from a rough past. I post teaching videos that show you, the viewer, how you can do the exact same things I did to improve your life. Guided meditations and Sunday messages to remind you to stay positive are among the topics I cover in this community. Also, check the comments under the videos where I ask questions to the viewers so I can personally help you on your path to happiness. Welcome to the Key of Soul Awakening. Follow the Key to Soul Awakening on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you enjoy learning real-life strategies to using spirituality in day-to-day life, subscribe now. And as my son Buddy says, ding ding, don't forget to hit that bell. Also, please share this video on your own social media platforms. The wider my net is, the more people I can reach to help them find their way to happiness. Thank you for helping me.
Hey everybody, it's Stacy from the Key to Soul Awakening. So as you can see, I always have trouble starting live streams with audio. So if you can hear me say the word sage, just type it in the chat box and I know I'm ready to go. So all you have to do is type the word sage in the chat box. That means you can hear me. Or give me a thumbs up that you can hear me. and then we're going to get started. Thank you. Thank you. You can hear me great. Okay, so I don't have my headset today because I am in the United States today. As most of you know, I've been having some medical problems, so I am here, and my family is where we live elsewhere. Give me 1 second to get back to here. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now you can see me right there. Okay. So as you know, I've been having, well, that's interesting. Two different, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. So yeah, I've been having some health problems. So I'm here, but I decided to go live today because I miss you guys so much. Okay. So let's do our prayer first, and then we're going to get into the new people. I want to explain to how all this works. I'm not exactly sure why I'm seeing two different chat boxes here, but it basically says the same thing. Just put your name, first name, date of birth, and your question in the chat box, and then I will answer your question. There's something a little new to this, okay? Let's see who we have. Latoya, Ariel. Hello. Hey guys. If you could do me a favor and subscribe and hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. I'm about ready to get back into doing these weekly. So I took a long break just because of the whole health thing. And we're going to talk about that because I think I've learned a lot outside of health and how humanity works with one another when one person is down and the other person can help. But we're going to get to that. I would like everybody to close their eyes and just take a deep breath and breathe out through your nose. We're going to do it one more time. And as you're breathing out through your mouth, as you're breathing out through your mouth, I want you to take all the stress and tension that you're feeling right now and push it out through your breath. So in through your nose, and push all that tension out through your mouth. You should be feeling relaxation through your neck here as you breathe out. We'll do it one more time because I feel like there's a lot of people have stress going on right now. So let's do it one more time. All right, I'm going to say our prayer. You can keep your eyes closed. You can keep them open. I usually keep my palms up because that allows Source to be able to come right into us. And you'll see a lot of people do that in different religions and different churches. But that's why, because it's an easy access point for Source. All right, here we go. In trust we are here, divine Source, in all that is love, oneness, unity, health, and compassion. We are here to raise our vibration and move to our highest and best lives. We ask that our spirit guides, council of the brotherhood, angels, and loved ones in spirit be here with us to protect and transform. And we ask you to help those watching this live right now with their own private wishes that they're asking for you inside their own head. Go ahead and ask for something inside. And so it is. And when you do this, now you want to make sure you wipe your hands, okay? And you're going to I always rub them together, all right? And what this does is it gets all the negative energy out, and then you throw it up into the universe, and you never have to see it again. See? Good. Okay. So Bob's going to be doing the questions. Let me just make sure that Bob is on here. I can hear you. Awesome, Bob. Thank you. All right. So if you did not see how to join my Facebook group, I'm going to be flipping this back and forth. I have a private Facebook group where I'm interacting mostly every day. You can talk to me about your questions or anything you have to go on spirituality. You just go to the private Facebook group and make sure you answer these questions, or you cannot be in the group. I don't mean to be kind of hard about that, but I just want to make sure that you're there for the right reasons, okay? Instagram, I'm also on Instagram, same Key to Soul Awakening. And if you want to book with me, I have the link in the chat box. You can book a one-on-one session with me where we can talk about anything, and I will be using my guides, my spirit guides, my psychic abilities, everything, just for you. All right? All right, one more thing. Oh, right. If I did a good job, please look up on the PayPal link and keep me into my Oreo habit. It's optional. You don't have to do it, but just a question. Okay, so we already have some questions going on. The topics that we're going to be talking about today is, if any of you heard during those videos, the victim box. That's a really big concept for us to be talking about. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to be talking about why love is so difficult for some of us. The spiritual thing I did, which I invited the angels into my house, and frankly, all hell broke loose. And I'm going to explain that. But honestly, I think it happened for a reason, and I think things are a lot better now than they were before. So if you're interested after I talk to you about this, hosting angels into your home, I will explain to you how to do it. And all you have to do is send me your email address, and I will send you the directions. Spiritual Awakening, QHHT, which I had a QHHT session during my break, and also the Dark Night of the Soul. All right. So our first question, I want to also mention, if I answered a lot of questions about love or career or things like that, I'm not going to keep going with that same topic. So if Bob sees that I've answered 2 questions already about love, then he's going to go down to the next person who's not asking about love. Okay, because I like to talk about other things. I know a lot of you want to know about love, which is why I put it in the topics for today. All right, so I'm going to start off with just saying hi to my kids who are with Bob right now. For Luke, Lily, Beth, and Lionel, Mommy misses you so much, and I will be home very soon. Love you. All right, so Missy was the first one to have her name in, and is Missy still here? Is she still here? I'm only going to look at the chat box just because Missy, you're still here. Cool. Okay. Missy, you gave me your birth date, and the first thing I noticed, Missy, was there were a lot of 4s in your birth date. Okay. Hey, Gaggy, I'm really good. I'm glad to see you again. There's a lot of 4s in your birth date, Missy. All right. And that stuck out to me because 4s are very, very grounded. They are like a box, if you know. Okay. That doesn't mean that you're a 4. It just means there's a lot of 4s in your birthday, which is interesting. Your number is a 3. Your life path number is a 3, which means that you're meant to be a communicator. You're meant to be seen. You're perfectly fine being the center of attention in anything you do. And that matched with, the first vowel of your name is an E. So what that means is it bores you. Boredom, like any kind of routine bores you. Any kind of routine bores you. You're enthusiastic and energetic, and you just really want to be around people. And your question about who is trying to get attention to you right away, it was an older gentleman was coming to me, and I believe this man is one of your guides. He's not related to you. He is your spirit guide. He's one of them, and he's trying to warn you that you're going down a path. I wrote it down. He's trying to warn her to catch her, because you're headed in a direction that's going to cause you trouble eventually. And I keep seeing like career job around this. Does any of this make sense to you, Missy? Can you tell me if any of this is validating? Hey, Galiante. So the person, it's not really a person who's coming into you, Missy. This is your spirit guide. And what makes it different between somebody we've known in this life and our spirit guides is we can actually talk to our spirit guides and hear them a lot clearer than the people who have passed over. All right. So what you want to do is just start talking to this person. Okay. Maybe you want to ask their name. Somehow they'll get their name to you. Okay. And you want to ask them questions. And the way I ask questions to my guides, because I learned after making many, many mistakes, like, give me a sign. Well, what does that mean? What I say is I would like something that is clear, and I would be able to understand what you're trying to tell me. All right. And that works very, very well. And they love that. They love when you try to give them like directions, because I mean, on the other side, it's not like here where we kind of like infer things. Oh no, they're just like black. They're this is what you said. This is what you wanted. This is what I gave you. And then you're all like, well, that's not what I meant. But, so you have to be very clear with them. All right. Thank you, Missy, for sticking around. If you would like to book a session with me, the link's at the top. And if we have time later, I can also do second questions once I get through everybody else. Okay? All right. The next one was, I'm sorry, my hair is bothering me a lot lately. Shabrana, okay? And I think I'm saying that name, and if I'm not, I'm terribly sorry. If you've noticed, I'm not wearing my glasses. They don't have them. I left them at my other house, and I'm blind as a bat right now, so I'm trying to read, okay? Missy. Yes, but I thought it was messing in the wrong spiritual stuff. That's something I'm going to talk about today, Missy, actually, the difference between how you know that you're working with light and love and not the dark stuff. All right, so give me 5 minutes. I'm going to get back to that. It's a very good question, Missy, because even well, not even I especially, people with gifts, people with any kind of gifts, really. The first things we attract are the dark entities, because they don't want us doing this. Okay, so I will get back to that in a little bit. Okay, Missy. All right, Shabrana, you want to know about month of August, love and career. Give me a second just to add this up. All right, you're a 5. Shabrana, you've been here before. You're a 5, correct? I always check my math because math was not my best subject. And Bob's laughing now. So you're a 5, which means you always want to be on the move. And the first letter of your name is an O. Yeah. So it'd be contradictory. It's like I get the feeling with you that you want to you want to go out and have fun and have I keep wanting to say the word party, but that does not seem correct. You want to go out and have fun, but you're expected to be something else. So it's like a contradiction. Okay? So the month of August for you, this is going to be like a watershed month for you. It's like you have to pick one or the other this month. You're going to have to pick if you want to follow what you actually want to do, or if you're actually going to just stay in the straight and narrow and do what you're supposed to do. And whatever you choose in this month of August is going to be in longevity, years. So you have to decide what you're comfortable with. As far as love, I do see several opportunities. I can't tell if any of them are actually long-term or not, but I do see several opportunities. And as far as career, I see a career change coming. And I'm not sure that you're aware that it's coming. Does this make sense for you, Soprano? Okay. Let me dig into this career for a second. I get the sense that you like the job that you're in right now, what you're doing. And you wouldn't move, if you wouldn't be going, like Americans, what we do is we are always looking for another job. But I get the sense that you don't do that. That you like what you're doing, but the next job that's coming in is going to be just as good or maybe even better. So don't push it away, okay? Look at it and see if it feels right. If it feels right, okay, even if all the numbers and all of the, logistics of it don't really make sense, if it feels right, that's what you do, okay, because that's your intuition. All right, thank you for asking the question, and I want you to stick around because you can ask another question when I get through everybody else, okay? All right, let me just check with Bob to see who's next. Bob keeps me on track, okay? Okay, cool, so you gave me that link. All right, give me 1 second, everybody. Because usually I have so many questions that come in. Oh, Bob, it's making me log in. I have had the worst month with this computer. And it's all my fault. I should have to tell you that. Let's see here. Bob, can you just put them in Skype for me, please? Because it'll just be easier. All right. Ariel Jones. Is Ariel Jones here? Let's just check to make sure she's here. Ariel, if you're here, you're welcome, Sprana. Let me see what you have to say. New stage of my career would come next year. Yeah, I think it's going to come quicker than next year, is what I'm saying to you. Ariel, are you still here? Because if you're still here, I can do your reading. I'm looking at Ariel, Latoya, ooh, Anastasia Enchanted. Welcome back. Okay, so I'm looking for Ariel, Latoya, or Anastasia. Any of you still here, just say yes in the chat box and I will do your reading, okay? And while I'm waiting for them, let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about this dark stuff, okay? So when you start going into, digging into this spiritual awakening thing, it really is so real that when you fall down this rabbit hole, you won't ever get out of it, because you realize how real it is, and it also doesn't make you want to argue with people about like religion and things, because you realize that, you know, we're all kind of worshiping the same God. I call it source energy. Somebody else could call it God. There are many names. When you get in deeply into the spirituality of things, what happens is the first things that come to you, the very first things that come to you, are the dark entities. And these are like shadow people, okay? This is like that Hat Man, if you ever heard of him. They can't hurt you unless you give them permission to do that. All right, let me say that again. They cannot hurt you. All right. So yeah, I mean, we've had experiences in this house, especially with my kids. My kids are, I don't think Bob knows this yet, but my kids are very, very psychic, probably more than I am. So they see things all the time. And I've had discussions with them about, you know, that they can't hurt you. You have to have boundaries with this. So what I recommend is, if you are questioning if you're attracting this or you're not, I want you to go get some sage on Amazon. Amazon probably loves me just because I buy so much sage, you know, and you just, okay, so you put the sage, light the sage on fire, then you don't want the flame, you blow it out, and then you will walk through your house and just say, anything that is of light, the white light, is allowed to be here. Anything else that is dark and not of the white light, goodbye. You're not allowed in my house, around my home, around my family. And that's all you have to do to take control of it. Okay? I'm still waiting to see the next couple, Anastasia, Ariel, and Latoya. I hope you all can hear that going outside my window. It's so nice here. I have the air conditioner off. That's the problem with turning the air conditioner off. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to jump down then. All right. So I'm going to go to Galiente. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Galiente, because it's awesome. Okay. All right. So you want to know if you'll still be employed by the end of the year, and your birth date is March 15th. Okay. Bob, if you could put a note in the chat box that we're looking for those 3 people, just so they know, that would be great, so I don't have to keep repeating it. This is what I mean, that I'm blind. Okay. Your first letter is an A. Okay. Okay, you're a 9. So you're a 9, and a 9, Galiente, is you learn your lessons through endings, and I mean any endings. It could be the ending of your favorite TV show. You learn lessons through endings. So the fact that you're asking me if you're still going to be employed by the end of the year, I have a hard, I don't want to tell people this kind of stuff though, but it seems to me you may not be, because you're supposed to be learning a lesson through this. And I get the feeling that this is not a job that you like. It's a job that you go to because you make money from it. Am I correct on that? Just go ahead and put it in the chat box. And what my guides are saying, like so many other people, my guides are saying that you are definitely geared towards one area. Like you want to be doing something, but it's kind of like an honor thing. Like you need to be doing this, but you want to be doing this. There's so many people in the world like that. So, Kelly Auntie, what I want you to do is just really decide, it's your choice. You don't have to do one thing or the other. What you have to do is you have to you have to decide what's going to make you happy. And when you're happy in the long run, your life will definitely become more positive. Because right now, I'm getting this ick, oh, do I have to do this again kind of feeling from you. So choose the more positive of whatever you're choosing, and that's what's going to make your life on the highest and best path. Okay? Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for the question. I'd love your name. I hope all of you come over and join my Facebook group, because we have a good time over there. All right. No, you are not too late to ask a question. You just have to put your first name and your date of birth in there. And I guess we're not looking for... Hold on, Bob. I'm going to see if I can get in here. It's just telling me I have to sign in, and I don't think I can at this point. So if you're listening, Bob, can you just keep putting them in Skype for me, please? Okay. Yes, Gloria, you can have a reading. I just need your first name, which is Gloria, of course, and your birth date. I knew her Gloria. She was fantastic. I like that name. Okay. Let's see if I missed any questions here. If I missed your question, I want you to go, me. I see Shimei I need to get to. Shimei. Shimei. I hope I'm saying that right, okay. And again, here I go with blind as a bat. All right. Okay, you're definitely on a spiritual path. What is your question? Being distance toward me in the next couple of days. Okay. Wow, I just heard that loud and clear. Shaimei, what they're saying to me is that it's up to you. I don't think this person's being as distant as you think this person is. I think what it looks like to me is that it's one of these, like, not cat and mouse, but like you're a little shy, and if this person doesn't come and talk to you, then you feel like rejected. When really, if you go up and talk to them, I think it's going to be fine. If that makes sense to you. Let's see here. Anything else? Next couple of days. Okay. Does that make sense to you, Shaimei, if you're still here? Good. All right. I think, Shaimei, you're an A. You're the beginning of, you're an A, and you're a 7. So a 7's very spiritual, but a 7 is also very conflicted with themselves. So you have this spirituality about you, but you need to see it. And if you don't see it, then it's like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, and you're conflicted within yourself. If you're still here, make sure you subscribe and you hit the like button for this live. Okay. Hey, Anastasia. Okay. So I got that. Happy Reader. I just need your first name, Happy Reader, and your birth date, okay? Gaggy, I'm getting there. Yeah, Bob's like doing a whole bunch of stuff right now. I need to go back over here. Oh, I missed him. I'm sorry. So all 3 are here. Okay. Yeah, my 2 lives. I don't know why I have... I wonder if that's what's going on here. Sorry, I'm going to pause for 1 second. Because... Anastasia, can you do me a favor? Can you go over to whatever the other live is and just tell them that that's not supposed to be like the actual live, because something must be going on with YouTube, and have them come over to this one? Can you get the link from it for me? Actually, I'll give you the link for it. Can you do that? Anastasia and I are like tight. So, okay. Ariel. All right. So Ariel went up first. So Ariel Jones. Okay. Ariel, I have a feeling I know you. Do I know you, Ariel? I know what I did with the 2 lives. Damn. Thanks, Anastasia. I know what I did. I'm so technologically impaired. I'm sorry. Okay, Ariel, you're a 9, and of course you're an A. And if you've heard what I said about an A, A's are very impulsive. Okay, I have 4 A's in my name, so we'll leave that be. Okay. A's are very impulsive, and they tend to get oversensitive to criticism. So when we get criticism like, this report could be written a little bit shorter, all right? That's okay. That's a good criticism. But when somebody with the letter A gets that could almost be devastating, like feeling like, what's wrong with me? So when you're saying you're having trouble at work, and I'm also seeing a 9, which is you learn things through endings. And that does not mean at all what I'm going to tell you is not losing your job. There's a relationship between you and 1 or 2 other workers there that has become somewhat hostile, but I'm laying it on your feet. And what I'm saying to you is that you need to stand down, because what they're saying is they're trying to help you. And again, with all this mix of feeling feeling really attacked. You're feeling really attacked. This is why I can't watch the chat. Well, I'm going to put this over here. Okay. You're feeling very attacked, Ariel. Okay. I don't see you changing jobs because you're very good at what you do. I would try to be as nice as possible. And what they're saying is be as nice as possible to the people who you think are being hostile to you. Okay, and that's going to change things around. It may not be perfect, but it's going to make it better for you. All right. I still have this really strong feeling that I know you. If you would like more to this question, go ahead and book a session with me at the top. It's in the banner on my YouTube page. Just remember, you learn things through endings, and it could be an ending to like I just said to somebody else, to like an ending to like your favorite binge show. Okay, you learn things through that. So everybody learns things differently. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ariel. I hope you like this. You like this live, and you also subscribe. I'm going to take a moment just to explain to everybody real quick that I did have some health issues in the last few months, and it's affected the way that I find my words. So if I'm stumbling over words, it's because I'm trying to find the word and it's just not there. I know what I'm trying to say to you, but it gets like stuck. So just understand that, okay? All right. Latoya Graham. Why wasn't Cece invited to Florida with her other siblings? She's my girlfriend. She's here. Okay. And this is your birthday, correct? So you're 6. All right, they want me to pull my cards out for this. I got brand new cards, everybody. They have to do with crystals. Okay, but they're going to pull my cards out for this. You're a 6, and what I'm seeing is you're very stable. Again, a 6 is very nurturing towards the family, which is why you're looking to try to help here. Outdoors is your thing. If you are in a negative space, you tend to become controlling and you tend to become overbearing. So be careful of that. I'm going to read the question one more time. Is there something going on between you and Cece's family? That's what I would be thinking of. Let me pop over and see if you answer that. It's okay. Okay, so that's her birthday. Oh, okay. Let me get yours. Yours is 8. What I'm seeing loud and clear is that there's something going on between you and this person's family. Yeah, Bob, put Gaggy on the list for me, please, okay? Do you know that there's something between there? Susan, that's a you. And then... not really. Okay. Yeah, this is just what I'm seeing is that... really, I'll tell you what I'm seeing is that when my husband was supposed to be going to a trip with his family, they didn't invite him because of me, and that's the exact situation that I'm seeing. But let me pull some cards and see what comes up, okay? All right. Okay, so this family definitely has its standards, its faults and its standards, and possibly that Susan does not get along with she doesn't jive with those kind of things. Okay, let me check your birthday real quick. And she's a U, so yeah. Okay, let me explain how I'm seeing this, Latoya. The family's there, Susan's here, okay, and you come in, but Susan's never really blended very well with this family. She loves them, they're her family, blah, blah, blah. She just never blended very well with them. So with you coming in, it's like more not blending, you know. How to get around this is for her to recall who she wants to be in this life. All right, and her family's going to be perfectly fine with it. All right, this feels like a blip, and it feels like a time for her to be able to speak up and tell her truth and get her truth told to people. Okay? Yeah. This doesn't feel like it's all you. It definitely feels like this is a family thing. So she definitely needs to talk to her family. And her cards are basically saying it's time for her to transform into who she wants to be and not who she's expected to be. Okay? If she would like a reading or you would like a reading, you can click the link on the top banner and we can get more into this, okay? All right, Bob, let's see who's next. I'm sorry. Our usual program, like, seriously, literally is all my fault. I'm going to go with Gaggy because I think I skipped over her. And then I'll come back to Anastasia. All right. Month of August and September for regards of love and career. Okay. I know I've done your birthday like a million times, but I'm going to do it again just so I don't mess myself up. Six. Okay. Okay, so right now your career feels like it's very steady. It's kind of steady. There's no skyrocketing and it's not going to plummet. You just got to keep working steady. As far as your love life, yeah, they're very much telling me that you're overly clingy, and I'm sorry to tell you that. That's exactly what they're saying to me. So when you meet somebody, play it cool. All right, just play it very cool. Okay. 5 years from now, you should have no. You're gonna look back in here in 5 years from now and go, "Why was I even worried?" All right. So you just keep going. They're saying you literally just keep going on the road that you're going, and everything's gonna be fine. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go back to Anastasia. Let me just see if I'm missing anything here. What I wanted to talk about. You know, we're talking about love a lot, and you know why love is so difficult for people. Let me get back to this. Why love is so difficult for people to understand and to make love like good and happy is because we're trying to force something that's not supposed to be down that road. All right. And that doesn't mean breaking up with whoever you're with. And that doesn't mean like finding somebody else. That just means whatever road you're on, you need to shift a little bit and make it easier. All right. So all those expectations you have for love and your partner, drop them. Okay. And Bob says to me all the time, you need to manage your expectations. With love, you shouldn't have any expectations. Basically, it's whoever treats you right, takes care of you, and makes you feel good about yourself. There you go. Okay? All right. Anastasia, here we go. This was a miscarried baby, Anastasia? Why am I seeing him being miscarried, but you're telling me he doesn't want to reach out? Anastasia, let me know if this brother of yours is earthly alive or in a different or miscarried and on the other side. I'm going to put a pin in that until I get this answer, because what I'm seeing right now is that he was so he was not miscarried. Didn't I ask you months ago if you were the only child? Okay. 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 Yeah, the whole reason he doesn't want to reach out to you is because of your father. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. And you know what I mean. If you want to connect with him, I would just blatantly say, I understand that our father is blah, 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 blah. But I'm nothing like that, and I would like to get to know you. However, I warn you that he may be like that. So, this might be your guide stopping you, like literally stopping you from seeing your brother, because he might be so much like your dad that it's gonna push you backwards. All right, so it's still your choice, but take your time with this one, okay? All right. Okay. I'm on Nearville. And again, can't see. Hope I'm saying that well. Right. He is interested in me, and we will meet. Hold on, Anastasia. I'll be right back to that, okay? Nearville, can you explain to me what a topper is? I'm just very interested. Okay, so Anastasia. Yeah, the whole thing, Anastasia, is centering around your dad, and without going into detail of what we worked on for months, I get a distinct impression that you need to stay away, just because of how this, and the reason I was seeing this miscarried child is because when you miscarry a child, you no longer have them to like have a relationship with, so That's why they were showing me that. So I would tread carefully with this, okay? Hey, Tina. Okay. Came out first in college. Okay. I like that topper. Okay. All right, let's look at your birthday. So you're an I. Okay. Okay. You are a 5, which is like the celebration of the world, Nirval. I'm surprised you're not actually with him abroad, because 5s like to travel. They can't sit still. Is he interested in you? Yeah, he is. He is interested in you. He's just got other things going on right now. I wouldn't push it too much. Have people told you that you can be too much sometimes? Because that's what I'm seeing. So just be very careful. Be you, but you don't have to be you like a bull trying to go at him. Okay. Okay, Tina, we'll get you on the list. Okay. I do see. Yeah, I just want to travel. Let me tell you about 5s. If anybody else is a 5, if you know you're a 5, and how you figure out your life path is you add up all the digits of the day you were born. Okay, so this one was 6/6/2000, so I added 662, and I got a 5. A 5 is very, very specific with, if you're not on a positive path, you tend to have addictive qualities, and it does not have to be alcohol. It does not have to be drugs. I mean, hoarders are also part of addiction. You could have, an addiction to like yard sales. But when you are on a good positive path as a 5, you love to travel, you love to meet people, you're the center of attention, you love to like be the party. Okay, that's a 5. And I have a feeling that this guy matches very well with that. So just be patient. 5s have a hard time with patience. Be patient. And your, your letter, an I, is that you have patience, which is good. You often feel guilty though. Do you feel guilty a lot for things that you shouldn't feel guilty for? So like anything guilt comes up, let it go. Okay. Anybody new here, make sure you like this live, and you also subscribe to my channel. If you want a live reading with me, not a live reading, if you want a one-to-one reading with just me, the link is at the top of the banner. Go ahead and book. I'm probably going to go for another half hour, and I'm just tired, so we're probably going to end at about 12. Okay. I gotta cover this up because this is. When I see the chat box going like this, like I can't help but look, but I'm trying to focus on other things. Okay, Gloria. Okay. Let's see here. Gloria, your first letter of your name is an O, which means that you're a contradiction in terms. And what that means is that you present as one thing, but you are the exact opposite as yourself. Okay? Okay. You're also a 5. And as I was adding this up, I heard my spirit guides say she just needs to go. So whatever's happening in your life is very uncomfortable, and it is, and you're torn. You're torn. But to get to your highest and best path, you're a 5. You need to travel. You need to be out there. You need to be doing things. So yeah, they very clearly said in my ear as I was adding this up that you just need to go. So let me make sure that was. Yeah, and I do feel like, Gloria, it has to do with where you are living, but also working. And that's as much as they're giving me. Let me see if, Gloria, Gloria, give me anything else you want to give me, okay? All right. Heavy reader. Tamisha. Okay. So, do you have a question, Tamisha, or is it just you want just a general reading? Just a moment, I'm getting my papers together. Okay. You're an 11 and a 2. You're master number 11. I believe I've told you that. So as a master number 11, you have all these ideas to get things done. Very, very well done. But what happens is you don't know how to get the tools to get them done. You need to find somebody who's like a 22 because they have the tools to get your ideas done, but they have no ideas. So it's a really good match there. But you're also a 2, so which means that you don't fit quite into this world. And, you know, I always call 2s the aliens of the planet because they tend to, sorry, I'm covering it up again. 2s tend to feel out of sorts, like they don't want to be here. They don't want to, they don't understand this planet. They don't understand why there's so much fighting and violence and anger. Where 2s are very humble. They're very into, like, God, if we were all 2s, we'd be jumping rope and skipping down the street, just holding hands. That's what a 2 is. Just happiness. Let me just see if Tamisha has a question. Did she add a question? No. Okay. So I get that you're feeling stuck because you do not like routine. You do not like the days in, the days out. I'm going to pull cards here. They're just telling me this. Okay, so we have 3 more questions then, Bob. Okay. So what you're going to have to do, Tamisha, and I'm also taking you on in January, remember. For those of you that are here, I do one-to-one spiritual guidance sessions. I'm starting the next cohort in January. And if you're interested in that, I'll have Bob put my email address in the chat box, and I can give you more information on that. Anastasia was one of my clients, as is Tina, who's coming up. So if you want to book with me just for a single booking, you hit the link above. And if you would like to talk to me about how I can help you long term, which will start in January, and Tamisha's the one of them that is going to. I'm only taking a few people. I don't take everybody. I'm very selective. All right. So yeah, be kind to yourself. Make a decision. Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? And see the magic. I'm going to say it again because I think I said this before, was that you are in a path to become in a career that you're not very enthusiastic about, but it makes a lot of money. But you don't know what you want to do. And this card setup says, be kind to yourself, make a decision, and see the magic. And what see the magic generally means is you need to look at the glass half full. That you may be switching careers or majors or something like that, but what needs to happen is that you need to see the positive side, that you're going to be a lot happier. You're definitely going to be a lot happier if you make a decision like that. Okay? If you'd like to make a reading with me, book above, or you can email me and we can talk more, okay? All right, let me just see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. I can talk next week about the QHHT session. I'll just finish up these questions because I am getting tired, and my doctor no like that. So let's see here. So Gloria, Anastasia, Tamisha, okay, Tina. Yeah, Tina, I've been seeing you moving for a long time. If I talked to you about this, didn't I? I said I've seen you moving more like southish, to find. Didn't we talk about Maryland and how their schools are so much better for what you need? Yeah, I do see you moving, and it doesn't have to be perfect where you're moving. What has to be is it has to be a good situation for your children. All right, so keep that in the forefront. All right. Galante. Clarification. The industry I work in is ESL for English in China. Tightening lines around this company saying we're still safe, but I don't know if it's true. Move. Okay. You should meet Anastasia because she does the same thing. Anastasia, meet Galante. Okay. Yep, still seeing a job move. If you have, okay, that's what they're saying. If you have a question about this, that generally means that your guys are tugging at you going, something's not right here. Something's not right here. And you could dig around a little bit more in it. I don't know that would be the wisest thing to do. But if you have this question of it, then I would recommend that you just look elsewhere, because this doesn't feel like a safe or a trustworthy thing to be involved in, if that makes sense. Gallant. I think it's Gallant. I like Galante. He can choose. Bob just told me he thinks it's Gallant. Okay. Anyway, I was saying, if you have a question around this, what I want you to do is really listen to your intuition and what does your intuition say? Okay, because everybody could say everything, but what really matters is what your gut, your intuition, and your intuition is really your guides. What are they saying to you? Okay, if they're saying that this is perfectly fine and, maybe you're just a little nervous because it's never happened before, okay. But if you get that really tough gut feeling that's like, yeah, I don't really think that, this is a proper situation, that's when I would start moving on and looking for other places. Okay. All right, baby girl Aries. I need a first name for baby girl Aries. Do we have a first name? If you can put your first name in there, baby girl Aries, and then just retract it right away, that would be fine. I just need to know your first name, just because it helps with the reading. All right, so your birth date is... Bob, are you getting a kick out of these birth dates? 1990? Your real name, baby girl, okay? And is this the last one I have? Yeah. So this is going to be the last question. This is going to be the last question for this week. Next week I'll be back at noon as well. Or you can book with me, or email me for more information on how you can work with me one-on-one. So... yeah, and then just, Bob, when she puts it up, then just delete it, okay? Don't forget to like and subscribe to my page. And go to my Facebook page. I'm going to go over... I know, Bob, I know. Okay. I don't need to say it, I just need to see the vowels in it. I'll still call you baby girl. Okay. Let me just flip over to here while I'm answering her question, okay? This is our Facebook group. It's free to join. Just answer the questions, okay? All right. Let's go back here. And I lost my question. Okay. General message. Okay, 329. Yeah, I can tell I'm getting tired too, Bob. I'm sorry. Ooh. Baby girl, you're 33, which is an amazing number to be. So when you're a 33 life path, you are the same kind of a life path that many well-known prophets were. Okay, so if you think about the date that Jesus died, he was 33. All right, 33 is a very spiritual number, and that means you have both the ideas and you have the tools to make all these great ideas happen. And I'm not saying ideas just for you. I'm saying ideas to make the planet a better place. Okay? And let me dig into this just a little bit more. So, an A. Yeah, I mean, A's have a controlling tendency to them. They're impulsive, but yet they're creative. And you're overly sensitive to criticism. Okay, so these are all your patterns, your karmic patterns that are coming up. And I work a lot with a lot of people with karmic patterns. And whenever you're feeling hurt or guilty or like somebody hurts your feelings, that's when you need to say, okay, guys, I recognize this. You can take this away from me now. And it won't happen again. What I'm seeing for you, though, let me... there's a woman in your life, and I almost say, I don't want to say woman because she's younger. Who has a special influence over you. And although that's good right now, I think you need to be careful of it in the future. Does that make sense to you, baby girl? A lot of curly hair. Lots of curly hair. And I also get the idea that you're younger. Is that true? Well, wait, I have your birth date, 30. I mean, okay. 30's young, according to me. This person I'm talking about would be younger than you. Kind of, I want to say like a sister, or maybe a friend or a cousin that is younger than you. I want you just to be careful of that relationship so it does not turn into like kind of like a toxic codependent relationship. This person admires you a lot, but admires you almost too much. Okay? And if you have not met this person yet, you're going to meet this person. I see lots of curly hair, blonde curly hair. The only person that's younger is my cousin. Yeah, I can't say for sure. It's somebody you're either going to be very close to or are very close to, and I want you just to be on notice that they almost admire you too much. Like, I keep seeing the movie The Single White Female. It's not going to go that far. Trust me. But that's kind of the feeling I get. All right. And you might even be really young to even know what that movie is. But just be careful there. Now, on the good side of it, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You may not have met this person yet. Okay, so hold on a second. On the other side of this, whatever you're doing in your career right now, they're applauding. They're saying this is a really good thing for you to be doing in your career. Are you deciding between two different things? And you're like, well, this would be better, but what you're doing right now is actually what you're supposed to be doing. Whatever line you're in is exactly where you're supposed to be. All right? All right, so that's going to end my questions for today. But like I said, I do bookings, and I also am active on my Facebook page every day, really. So I'll put that back up here so you can see where the Facebook page is. Okay. Private group. Also, if you'd like to work with me and talk about working with me, I'm going to start. I'm not doing Patreon anymore, so you don't have to look there. But I'm going to start on my own website in January. I've had a lot of success with a lot of people. If you would like to talk to me, I charge not much. I charge on a sliding scale, and it just all depends on, how much help you need and that sort of thing. So if you're interested, did Bob put my email address in there? Wrong one. Okay. So, good. Okay. So let me put my email address in here. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, so I can help you, on it's not just one reading. It would be several different, it's 6 months of a meeting with me about every 2 weeks, and you keep a journal, and then I mean, Anastasia could probably tell you more. Oh, you're welcome, Gaggy. I missed you guys so much, really. I really did miss everybody. And then if you're interested in a reading, all you have to do is click the link above in the banner, and then I will verify that with you. I will see you next week at this time at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Times. I have a few people who did not get to. Make sure you come back next week, and I will definitely get to you. And tell me you were here last week so I can get to you, okay? And we're going to talk about next week manifesting too. I just felt like doing a lot of readings today. All right. So you guys all have a great day or evening wherever you are, and I will see you next week.